That's right, it's a special edition of the Root for Sports podcast as we go from the East to the West Coast, baby, as I bring in my man, Sharad from California from sportsmuse.com. What's happening, brother?
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. A little early for you also. Maybe you were out partying a little late last night, but we got a 3-hour difference, but you're good enough to join me today, my man. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right. So ready to talk a little sports today or what?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's rock. Your Lakers already. I want to start with NBA right off the bat because the Lakers have been playing really well. They're moving up in the standings. You got the Heat and the Thunder tonight, which could be an NBA Finals preview, but that's who I picked in the beginning of the year. But now the Lakers, again, are coming on strong. The Spurs look good. What are your thoughts about your team out there and kind of how they're looking, even in comparison with the Clippers right now, who have kind of slipped a little bit?
Well, the big picture is the trade that went down. LeBron Sessions has really made a difference on this team. Now that we have a young point guard that can push the ball, change the tempo, decide when to pick, decide when to pop, decide who to distribute to, it really makes a difference with this team now.
All right, that makes sense. Well, what about the loss of Derek Fisher? Do you think that's going to matter come playoff time, or even more specifically, how does Kobe feel about it down there? Is he okay with the trade?
I really believe that it's not going to affect us, just because I've been watching Derek Fisher, and truthfully, every time he's on the court, it's like a -5 points.
Right.
And he's really been affected because he gets blown by every single point guard. He cannot even make a simple entry pass into Bynum, which Sessions is doing beautifully. Repost, kick it back out, he gets double teamed, they put it back in there, and he's going to work. And that's really helped Bynum's game in Sessions because somebody can actually make a pass to him.
Right, that makes sense. And, we're talking about Bynum specifically. I mean, if he can stay healthy, then the Lakers can go a really long way. That's the key right there. I believe that if he can stay on the court throughout the playoffs, that the Lakers can give the Thunder or Spurs or anybody a run for their money for that matter. And then you start talking about Kobe Bryant with his 6 rings and comparing him to Michael Jordan and stuff. I mean, that would bring that discussion up a little bit more. But right now, like I said, they're looking really good. But if you go to the East, you look at my Knicks, and I just don't believe that they have it in them this year. I think they're a great team, great players, I should say, who could be a great team one day. Kind of like the Heat. They have the same kind of makeup roster where, you have a bunch of just good talent running around and stuff. But to me, the Heat right now are the runaway favorite in the East. But the only team that can really contend with them that I can see is the Bulls. And it's amazing to me how great they play without Derrick Rose. He's already missed, I think, 16 games this year, and they still have the best record in the Eastern Conference. What's your take on that, looking from the West side?
I really believe that the Heat also will take it again in the Eastern Conference just because they can throw LeBron or Wade on Derrick Rose and neutralize him, and then they throw the other one on Luol Deng, and then that's another neutralized. And if you play even with those guys, it's not really going to work because Luol Deng's not going to score as much as Dwayne Wade.
Sure.
And yeah, Derrick Rose might get his, but so will LeBron James.
Yeah, you're right.
It comes down to the other factors, and I think Chris Bosh will outplay Boozer. He'll outplay Noah. Yeah, they're defensive-minded players, but he's a stronger, younger, more athletic, just big man that can. I think he's the X factor in that matchup.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I'm with you on Bosh all the way. People forget about him very easily because he plays with LeBron James and Dwayne Wade down there, and if he's on another team, he's a superstar. There's no doubt about it.
2010. He's given 2010. When he was in Toronto, he was 2010 every night.
Right.
And that's what makes him a strong player. Yeah, he sometimes takes the backseat. Yeah, he floats to the perimeter, takes his 15 to 20-foot jumpers. But when he's aggressive, when he's doing his little raptor yell, I think they do it good.
Yeah, I agree with you, and that's why they're definitely a force, and especially from the defensive side of the ball. I mean, they're so quick to trap and to get on you defensively, and even guys like Mario Chalmers play hard, and they got a great team all around. But then it comes to the end of the season, and it comes to the fourth quarter, and if Dwayne Wade isn't healthy like he was last year in the finals, and it comes down to LeBron James, he still has not shown that clutch gene or whatever you want to call it. And I hate to be repetitious about the subject, but if he's going to be a great one day, then he's going to have to be able to hit those clutch shots. Do you see him being able to develop that at some point? Or, I mean, again, I think that Dwayne Wade is the better player overall and more of the clutch player on the team, but LeBron, in order to go down with all-time greatness, he really needs to be the best player on the team. What do you see over there?
I really believe that they work well together, and this year, going into the playoffs, what they're going to probably look for is just going with the hot hand, and that's with that, it's going to be LeBron James has been going off. Okay, let's feed him in the fourth. Let's try to keep posting him up. What they're trying to do is they'll try to post up and start everybody breaking down, because now they're running Ronnie Turrias. He's a very underrated player. And I believe he can make the difference, because what he's going to do, he'll be dirty. He'll do those things that'll set those screens. He'll get those offensive rebounds. And that's really going to change the dynamic of the team, because now you get an extra possession where everyone's scrambled. Boom, LeBron gets a free alley-oop right down the lane. Stuff like that's going to really make it easy for him to go. And then if Dwayne Wade's hot, they'll go with him in crunch time. If he's not, you can use LeBron as a decoy, and LeBron will pass it up and make the right play. I really believe, even though that game they lost to Utah, he made the correct play. If a guy is wide open, you're double-teamed, make the pass, hit the guy that's his bread and butter shot. He just missed it. It happened. It's the game.
Right. There's no doubt LeBron James is under a total microscope with everything he does. You're right. It may have been the right play, the right pass, but still, because he didn't take the shot, he gets looked at as like a coward and not having that clutch gene in the fourth quarter and stuff. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. One thing I want to touch on, you mentioned Ronnie Turrias real quick, and all the points you said about him are right on, dead on, because he was on the Knicks for a little while, and he is that kind of grinded out, rebounder, and he'll play tough and he'll do the dirty work. So, yeah, that could help come the playoffs. You need somebody like that, even somebody who's willing to take the 6 fouls throughout a game, to put somebody on the free throw line late or whatever it is. So, good job out of you. I like how you mentioned that. Nice. One other player I want to get to real quick in the NBA before we transition to Tebow is Kevin Durant. When you talk about clutch, when you talk about really everything, now he may not be the most phenomenal defensive player in the league, I grant you that, but from an offensive standpoint, with that clutch gene and being able to do everything long, he's got it all, and he may be the front runner for the MVP right now. What's your take on him, Oklahoma City, and their chances maybe against the Lakers of coming out of the West?
Definitely, I believe that if they get the number 1 seed in the West, he's going to get the MVP. That's been a precursor for the last couple years. You get the number 1 seed, and you have one of the best teams, you get the MVP. It happened last year at Derrick Rose, happened the year before to LeBron James. Yep. It's just been a given lately with the media. They give it to the number 1 seed, which is correct. That's exactly how it should be.
That makes sense. Good point.
But the thing is with Kevin Durant, he's a monster. The other night, him and Russell Westbrook, they joined the 40-40 club. First ever 2 players to do it in a season. There's no other duo that's done it twice in the season.
That's right.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's really insane. No doubt about it. It is crazy, using all the right words. Monster, crazy, insane. Yeah, and Russell Westbrook, no doubt. He's a great player, too. No question.
He's going to be a great addition. The thing is with Fisher on that team, he solidifies them and makes Russell Westbrook be able to move over to the 2. You can go small ball, put Durant at the 4, and that's where he's most lethal, because nobody's going to be able to guard him. If he's playing the 3-4 position rather than up top on the key and he's attacking, that's what makes him the strongest, because then once he's attacking, you have to respect that drive. Once you start trying to sag off and respect that drive, he's going to drain jumpers over you all night long.
Yeah, good point. No doubt about it. Yeah, they're a force. There's no question. They are a force. I see either them, the Spurs, or the Lakers coming out of the West, and really only the Heat or the Bulls coming out of the East. There's only 5 teams, in my opinion, that it comes down to this year. That's it.
The big thing with the Thunder will be the play of Perkins and Serge Ibaka. Them 2 is really what's going to make it in a long series versus the Spurs and the Lakers, because the Spurs and the Lakers have bigs. They have Duncan, Splitter, DeJuan Blair. They have 3 bigs right there that are ready to go at you. And the Lakers, Gasol and Bynum for sure are ready to go. Then we bring in Josh McRoberts, who's had a lot of energy, played really strong, and that's what's really gonna turn series is the play of the big men. Yeah, we know Durant's gonna get his. Yeah, we know Duncan's gonna get his, and we know Tony Parker's been getting his. So those 3 players, they're all gonna get theirs, but it's really gonna come down to the big men.
Yeah, the big men, no doubt, and staying healthy with Manu Ginobili, obviously being injury prone for a while. That's been their kind of Achilles heel, getting knocked out early last year. They just didn't have the flow together. They're getting older, so I guess time is, running out on them a little bit. So we'll see what happens with the Spurs. But let's spend just a few minutes on Tim Tebow over here. Obviously, it's a hot topic. I'm over here in New York, and he's going to be introduced as a Jet tomorrow. The deal should be finalized and everything closed out. I'm going to get your opinion on it in a minute. The way that I feel about it is that the only reason that this is a bad thing is because of the media, how much of a big deal they make out of one individual person in Tim Tebow. If they didn't create this monster of a person that he is, then it wouldn't be as big of a deal. He would be another football player going to the team.
My first question to you, it's when do you remember the backup quarterback getting a press conference introduction?
Exactly.
When was the last time that happened? Like, that never happened, and it's a media-created darling, and part of it, I believe he's deserved, yes, but the other part, his play on the field, yeah, he's winning, but come on, man, improve your mechanics a little bit more.
I'm with you, and that's why he should be a backup quarterback, and I'm totally with you on that. I wouldn't want him starting on my team, there's no doubt, but there is also no doubt that he brings something to the football field. I mean, you can't take away from what he did with Denver last year. They were 1-4. He takes them to the playoffs and wins a home playoff game against the Steelers and everything. But just back to the media again real quick, because I just find it so interesting. If they just laid off, this wouldn't be such a big deal. Like you said, what backup quarterback in the history of the world has ever got a press conference? It's insane. It's not Tebow's doing. He's not calling a press conference. They're having it for him. So if they backed off, he wouldn't be so scrutinized and so perceptively hated. I love the guy. I think he's an excellent football player, but I stated I don't think he's a starting quarterback, but that doesn't take away from the things that he can do on the field. And if we just treated him as a football player and bringing something to the game and for his team, then it'd be looked at in a different light, kind of like with LeBron James. If we didn't put him under a microscope with every single thing he does, then it wouldn't be as big a deal. It's all media created, and it drives me crazy.
And also the thing is with Tebow is he can play. Everybody loves him. The media loves him, and that's the thing. It's the reason why he's so popular is because there's those people that hate him too, and that's when you know a player has made it in the NFL, and he's going to be there a fixture, is because he has the hate and the love. You need both parts to make it really something combustible.
I hear you, but the hate part is something that I just don't understand. It's like, what has this kid done to anybody except for not play exceptional quarterback to be hated? I mean, granted, okay, does he portray his love, for God and everything and his religion on the field? I don't have a problem with that, but I don't think that he does it to grab attention. I don't think he's saying, hey, cameraman, come here, I mean, a lot of other players do that stuff too, but because it's Tim Tebow, we look at it more. It bothers me. It really does.
It is something that is a detractor from his play sometimes, but the thing is, when you have a player that has been a proven winner in every single phase of their life, that's when you know that this person is going to be looked at good or bad no matter what, because the things that go along with winners, just along with LeBron James, yeah, he hasn't won a big game, but that's why they're after him. Kobe Bryant, he has so many haters. Why? Yes, because he's a winner, but sometimes the way that you rub people, there's those overly people that cannot touch religion. They're just not a fan of religious players, and so they get the hate. There's those players that are hated just because they keep beating the other person's team. It's like, oh man, you beat me again.
Right, okay. That makes sense.
And that's what really drives it. But the thing is about Tim Tebow, I believe that the Jets should play him in the same backfield as Mark Sanchez at least 20% of the snaps, if not more.
That's interesting. So them at the same time playing on the field together.
I really believe that would really bring a huge dimension, because you know what? He's going to get down. He's going to make the block for Mark Sanchez to make that pass down the field. He's going to do that. You know he's going to do that.
I love it. You're damn right he would.
If you do a play-action play, the defense has to respect him being able to run. You have to respect that, because he's coming at you, and he's going to give you a stiff arm and try to knock you over. So you have to prepare for that, and that's going to help Mark Sanchez as well. And then passing it and giving him the ball and letting him have an option to pass it. Yeah, he doesn't make the greatest passes, but you know what? Giving him an option when the defense doesn't know it's coming, they don't know what's going on, and there's a guy doing a slant right down the middle of the field. He catches and he goes, just like he did in the playoff game. That's Tim Tebow's game, short and intermediate routes. Yeah, he doesn't make the long ball, but save Mark Sanchez for that.
You see, thank you for bringing that knowledge. That's the point. Just the fact that he can throw the ball, that he is some sort of a quarterback, and he does bring that threat where the defense has to prepare for it. You have to watch out. You have to recognize the fact that if Tebow is at quarterback or in the backfield at whatever point, that he can either throw or run. So yeah, just the dynamic of the whole thing, that adds an extra, I guess intangible, an extra, offense for the Jets. It's good for them in my opinion. Again, the only bad thing about it is the whole media thing, and if they would just lay off, then I think this could be a really good situation for the New York Jets, and we'll see. Time will tell. It will play out.
The thing though is Mark Sanchez has to stay healthy. If Mark Sanchez even gets the slightest of an injury and goes down to miss a game, and Tebow plays good that game, it's over.
Forget it. If Mark Sanchez,
Romania, New York, and it's going to be even way bigger than what they saw in Denver because New York is the number one market.
Yeah, if Mark Sanchez has a bad half in the first game, they'll be calling for Tebow. That's how crazy New York is, man. That's it. You know it. Hey, listen, bro, I really appreciate you coming in and hanging with me today. Our time is up. We got to go. We got some NBA coming on in a little bit, so we're going to check that out. But listen, it is SharadSportsMuse.com. Make sure you go to the website and check it out. Beautiful looking website, all the news you want, NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, all sorts of great stuff, sportsmuse.com. My man Sharad, thanks for hanging with me today, brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, and the site's spelled SPORTSMUZE.
That's it.
Sportsmuse.com with the ZE.
And I'll make sure I flash it up on the site, no doubt about it.
Alright, thank you, man.
My man, take it easy. Alright, so that was Sharad from sportsmuse.com. And again, definitely go to that website. It was good to have him in from California, doing a little NBA talk and getting into Tim Tebow a little bit. So we'll have him back, no doubt about it. NFL draft coming up, end of the NCAA tournament and everything, so hang with us. Always, again, go to rootforsports.com. You can check out the website, the blog, the podcast. We have NFL rankings, fantasy baseball rankings, all that great stuff. So make sure you visit it. See you later.